Good afternoon, friends. It's Tuesday, November 24th. Time for a daily reflection. Hey, we're 2 days into Thanksgiving week. Did you know it was an entire week this year? Wow! Usually it's just one day, Thursday. But you know, that's funny. As people of God, I think we're supposed to be thankful every day of our lives. So here's to Thanksgiving 2020. Now, the last time I celebrated Thanksgiving in deployment was my junior year in college. I had chosen not to drive home that year, the 8 or 10 hour drive that it would have taken, for a couple of different reasons. The semester wasn't over yet. I'd have to return on Sunday for another week of class and then another week of finals before we were finally finished mid-December. My roommates and I decided that we could cook a turkey ourselves and the fixings, and it probably would be just as good as if we all went home. And we wouldn't have to travel on those busy travel days. So the three of us divided up the tasks, and if my memory is close to accurate, it was a reasonable feast. Then we enjoyed football games, probably before and after the meal. And who knows what else we did. I don't remember, however, getting up early on Black Friday morning to go shopping because, after all, we're cheap college kids. Probably more football, followed by adult beverages and frivolity. This year, perhaps it's not so different. I hear that many of you are staying put for Thanksgiving, and the number of people at the table will be much smaller than perhaps even last year. Joan and I will have the smallest table we've had in years as well. Will we be thankful? Yes. Thankful that we're healthy. Thankful that our extended family is healthy. Thankful that our family is being safe this year. Thankful that all of us have maintained our health during these many months. Thankful that we see a light at the end of the tunnel, a terribly long tunnel. Thankful that we are able to gather with our family around the country in a safer manner. We anticipate being thankful for a Zoom Thanksgiving. Not exactly what we expected last year when 8 of us gathered in San Jose, but perhaps we'll be able to expand our numbers and our reach will go across the country, almost coast to coast. I believe there is so much to be thankful for this year. In addition to those things that I just offered as Thanksgiving pieces, I'm also thankful for how we here at Shepherd of the Hills have endured these last 8 months of deployment and isolation. Prior to coming here, I had never really had an experience with a military community. So all of the congregations I'd served had thus far not had military people in them. And then there was coming here. In March of 2005, as Easter rolled through, and then Memorial Day and the summer, I came to learn about some of the people who had been deployed as we were in the midst of our war on terror. I learned of spouses who had National Guard members who had been deployed, were being deployed for over a year. I learned of some of the spouses of Travis Air Force Base personnel who were also deployed for those many months. As we moved into November and December, it became more painful for family members back here knowing that their fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters would not be home for these holiday gatherings. While chairs at the table are empty, we all feel the loss. We did survive those dark days, and in some cases, neighbors and friends invited the lonely to their homes to share the joy of the day. Yet all who had someone deployed felt a lonely, empty spot. This year, we can't even do that. Perhaps that makes you feel even more sad. You can't reach out and invite. You can't expand your table. You can't set more chairs and place settings at your table for neighbors and friends. It may make you feel unthankful, even bitter. Well, I invite you to acknowledge those feelings that you have this week and probably in the weeks that are to come. Acknowledge the anger, the hurt, the pain, and then let God know how you're feeling and thinking. God listens and God responds. Oh, maybe not in the way we want God to respond, but God does respond nonetheless. Then after you've acknowledged and voiced and claimed those feelings and thoughts, I invite you to do something else. Think of what you are most thankful for this year. Maybe even on Thursday as you gather in your deployed grouping. If it's a new experience or tradition for you, try this one. Before you dig into the meal, just say one thing that you are thankful for that day. One thing you are thankful for in this year that we'd all rather just forget. We at Shepherd of the Hills have continued to do the ministry that God has called us to do. We have continued to feed the hungry with our community feeding meal. We have aided the homeless in with our partnership with Opportunity House. We have comforted the sick with our participation at Via Travis Air Force Base's Fisher House. We have gathered to give thanks and praise God in worship times using Facebook and YouTube. Certainly new experiences for us these months. We have found new ways to provide for faith education to our children via Zoom gatherings on Sunday mornings. We grieve with and grieved with and comforted the Locarnini family as they lost everything in the LMU fire. And we've also continued our youth ministry, confirmation and youth groups, with Zoom and in-person gatherings for the short time that we were allowed to do so. We have seen the face of Jesus in these ministry moments, and many more of them. I hope we are thankful for them. I know that I am thankful because we have accomplished this ministry. We've continued our ministry. We've changed our ministry because each one of you has recognized how thankful you are. We have given thanks to God regularly with our offerings. 2020 has indeed been a year of deployment or isolation, but it has also been a year like so many years before it, a year of sharing God's gift with others, a year of being thankful to God for what God has provided. So I hope that you are indeed thankful this week, on Thursday, and every other day of the year and of your life. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Rob will be our preacher, so you won't see me the entire time. Rob will be up front. I'm thankful for that. And please, though, remember, wash your hands a couple times a day, 20 seconds at a shot. Use hand lotion to keep them nice and soft. I've noticed Joan using more hand lotion lately. I think maybe we've changed our soap and it affects her more than me. Stay home if you're sick. Love one another. Practice the important physical distancing with people who are not part of your family bubble. But for those who are within your family bubble, hug and surround them, please. Hug and surround one another. And of course, Sergeant Esterhaus wants us to remember always, every day, pandemic or not, be careful out there.